The story begins with a boy named Tsubasa looking out of the car window and seeing heavy snowfall. He asks the driver to drop him off as he's close to his destination. While taking in the scenery, he experiences a feeling of peace and freedom. There are no people or cars around, which is quite different from bustling Tokyo. However, the cold, dense air in Hokkaido makes him very uncomfortable. He reflects on his father's decision to move there at this time of year, realizing it might not have been the best choice. To make matters worse, he notices that his cell phone's battery is running low. Suddenly, he encounters a blonde girl on his path. Tsubasa thinks she looks like a Jaru because she is dressed short for winter. The girl looks at him, and he shows her a map, asking for directions to her destination. After she provides directions, Tsubasa decides to continue walking. However, the girl stops him and inquires if he plans to walk there. He replies affirmatively, saying he'll go on foot. She informs him that it will take him 3 hours to reach his destination, which surprises him. He had no idea it would take so long to get to a nearby district. The girl explains that the Kitami region is quite large. As he regains his composure, Tsubasa regrets taking the taxi so early, thinking he could have walked a shorter distance. Tsubasa lifts his head and decides he'll take another taxi. However, the girl tells him that taxis don't go to that area. He insists and asks if he can call a taxi to pick him up. She informs him that if he's lucky, a taxi might arrive in about 30 minutes. Tsubasa reluctantly accepts that he's in a bit of a predicament. But then, the girl kindly invites him to wait for the bus with her. She explains that the bus will arrive in just 5 minutes and will also stop at his destination. Hearing this, he becomes excited and thanks her for saving him from waiting for 30 minutes. Curious about his background, she asks where he's from. Tsubasa explains that he recently moved from Tokyo. Upon hearing this, she's amazed and wonders why he moved to Kitami from Tokyo so suddenly. He tells her it was because of family reasons. She comments that compared to Tokyo, Kitami is a rather ordinary place. She speculates that he might consider the locals tacky. However, Tsubasa disagrees and says he actually finds peace in Kitami. Her words remind him of when he was bullied, often being called tacky and unpopular. Even though he lived in Tokyo, he still felt out of place in the eyes of many. Now, in a new place, he's relieved that people haven't labeled him as tacky yet. The girl is curious to learn more about him and asks about his age. He reveals that he's 16, which excites her as they are the same age. She inquires about his school, and he mentions he'll be studying at Hokkaido. This excites her even more because she'll also be attending the same school. She takes him by the arm, making him slightly embarrassed, but he lets her continue due to the cold weather. She asks him to relax and speak in a less formal way. When she sneezes, he shows concern and offers her a tissue. Despite the cold, Tsubasa appears excited, as he's never had this much contact with a girl during his time in Tokyo. He begins to wonder if all the girls in Hokkaido are as friendly as her. While on the bus, she keeps calling him, but he doesn't answer. In response, she playfully puts snow inside his shirt, causing him to complain about the cold. In the midst of this awkward situation, he accidentally blurts out that she's very pretty, making her blush with embarrassment. As her bus arrives, she asks for his name, and he tells her he's Shiki Tsubasa. She introduces herself as Fuyuki Minami and leaves, saying she'll see him at school later. Tsubasa celebrates, feeling happy about his encounter in Hokkaido. His father sends a message asking if he has arrived yet, prompting him to remember that he should have taken the bus with Minami. As he thinks about Minami, she wishes they could end up in the same class. The next day, Tsubasa goes to his new class and introduces himself as Shiki Tsubasa. He informs his new classmates that he just moved there from Tokyo the day before. After the introduction, the teacher instructs him to take a seat in the row next to the corridor. As he scans the classroom, he doesn't see Minami and assumes she must be in a different class, which disappoints him. However, Tsubasa tries to convince himself that he doesn't have any romantic feelings for her. He believes that he prefers serious, dark-haired girls and attributes his surprise at meeting Minami to the fact that she is unlike anyone he has met before. But to his surprise, Minami enters the room while he's talking about her. When she spots him, she immediately approaches him, causing the teacher to scold him for being late. Tsubasa is taken aback, as he didn't expect such cliché movie-like situations to happen to him. During the class, Minami compliments him on his beautiful name. Adding to his confusion, she addresses him by his first name, and he clarifies that only his family and friends call him Tsubasa. The class continues, and Tsubasa starts to feel extremely cold, wondering how anyone can concentrate in such chilly conditions. He worries about catching a cold. Noticing his discomfort, Minami lends him an extra jacket to help him keep warm. Tsubasa notices that the jacket still carries her warmth, and a pleasant scent, making him feel as though he's receiving a comforting hug from her. However, he decides to redirect his thoughts, fearing that his hormones might distract him from focusing on his studies. When the class finally ends, Tsubasa expresses his gratitude to Minami for the jacket and offers to wash it for her. However, Minami explains that she was just enjoying the combined scent of both of them on the jacket and suggests that he could find another way to thank her. She asks Tsubasa to accompany her when she leaves school that day since she won't have anyone else to walk with. Despite having met just the day before, she already considers him a close friend. Tsubasa agrees and asks her where she lives. Minami informs him that she will take a train home, so he only needs to walk with her to the station. During their walk, she curiously inquires if he has a girlfriend, and he responds that he is currently single. Minami finds it amusing that he emphasized his relationship status and asks him about his favorite spots for dates in Tokyo. Tsubasa admits that he has never been on a date before and shares that he prefers places where you can eat and go for a walk. He asks Minami about her favorite places for walks in Kitami, and she explains that they tend to stay home during the cold winter. Tsubasa realizes that their conversation has become quite direct and attempts to clear his impure thoughts. Upon reaching her destination, he bids her farewell. However, before parting ways, Minami invites him to her house the next day, as there won't be any classes. She expresses her curiosity about Tokyo and her desire to learn more from him. Although hesitant, Tsubasa eventually agrees to visit her house, feeling that their relationship is progressing positively. They exchange contact information, and Tsubasa returns home. The following day, Tsubasa stands in front of Minami's house, feeling a bit apprehensive about the situation. It marks his first time visiting a girl's house, and he remembers that he must keep it a secret from his family to avoid getting into trouble. He finally decides to go in and calls out to her. Minami welcomes him inside, mentioning that her parents aren't at home. She leads him to the living room, and he notices the warmth from the floor heating. She explains that her bedroom is colder due to a small heater, which puts Tsubasa at ease, as he believes they won't engage in anything inappropriate in the living room. However, Minami starts teasing him with playful touches and asks what they should do next. Tsubasa hesitates but eventually suggests watching a movie he brought from home. As Minami starts playing the movie, an awkward and freaky scene unfolds, making Tsubasa feel tense. During the movie, she playfully touches him with her foot, and when he looks at her, he discovers that she has fallen asleep. Tsubasa considers her careless for sleeping next to a stranger. After a while, she finally wakes up, and Tsubasa prepares to leave, leaving the DVD with her to finish watching. As he heads home, she chases after him and apologizes for falling asleep during the movie. Tsubasa ignores the apology and expresses concern that she might catch a cold in her current clothing due to the cold weather. In response, she takes his hand and suggests buying him something to eat as a way to make amends for what happened. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel for more episodes.